So thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. So we like to just sort of start off, and maybe it's excited to hear a little bit about you, and you can maybe start off talking a little bit about sort of your background and how you got into music and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, growing up, at least as far back as I can accurately remember, so we'll say maybe 7th or 8th grade, I've been very, very interested and committed in music and sort of sports, specifically football. And so when I got into high school, I realistically kind of put all of my eggs in both of those baskets and tried to get my way through with both music and football while getting by with the rest of it as best I could. It was just so hard to juggle. So then after going to high school, I started at the University of Toronto, where I was fortunate enough to be accepted into the music program as well as recruited onto the football team.
Oh, nice.
Which it was a lot of fun for the brief amount of time that I was really able to do it, because, I mean, as you read in the bio, it was, I mean, classes were 30 plus hours a week, and then you add 25 hours of football a week, and then I still have to practice privately. It doesn't really add up too well, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a lot, yeah. So in terms of, so you studied primarily, did you go into different styles of bass, or did you primarily focus on the classical side, or you're all sort of?
I sort of dabbled in jazz when I was in high school. I did, Humber had this, you would, I'm sure notice, they had this Saturday morning program for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did that for maybe just a semester, I think. Because I was really interested in jazz. I played in I played bass guitar in the jazz bands at school. So, but once I started really focusing on it, it just didn't click with me sort of the same way as classical music does. I guess I just need everything to be written down.
So, do you want to maybe play a piece for us?
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to. I spent a lot of time kind of thinking about what I would play. I wanted to do something, obviously, that was sort of uniquely demonstrative of the bass. Not a lot of people have a sense of what a solo double bass really sounds like, because it's just not something you see, right? So I'm going to be doing a piece by Francois Rebath, who's a sort of one of the guys who wrote the book when it comes to bass playing. And the piece is called Puka Das. It's this very different, it doesn't sound very classical, to be honest, even after all of that talk about classical music. I'll admit, it's, in its original form, it's lengthy and can kind of drag on a bit. So I've kind of just abridged it in a little way. Hopefully that works.
That was very cool. I haven't seen like anything like that, so that was like really cool.
Yeah, well, I guess that's sort of the unique challenge with stringed instruments.
Yeah.
Is it's kind of all it's relying on, I guess, hours and hours of position work technique.
Yeah.
Sort of knowing exactly where your hand goes in which position, and even when you can be, if you're like 99, most of the time you're still going to kind of adjusted a lot of the time. I mean, even in the professional world, you see that. So it's it's one of those things that you're always working on, right? Sort of forever. There's really one of my favorite quotes is probably naming the wrong person, so forgive me, anyone who knows this for real. But it was Pablo Casals, the cellist. He was interviewed when he was pretty old. I mean, near his 80s, and he was already established as this world-renowned cellist. And someone asked him, I mean, Mr. Casals, why are you still practicing like 4 or 5 hours a day? And he sat there pensively for a little bit, and then leaned in and he said, "Oh, well, I think I'm getting better."
Do you have another? Do you have another piece you would want to play for us?
Yeah, absolutely. This one's a little unconventional as far as bass playing goes, because it's actually a cello concerto. I won't do the whole thing, but it'll be an interesting thing to talk about if we get a chance, because there's some, because of the fundamental differences between the bass and the cello, there are elements of the piece that one could argue are just physically impossible. So you kind of got to find a way to make them work on a totally different instrument. But I mean, playing cello riff is a little too hard to resist. So we'll see how it goes. This is the first movement of Elgar's Cello Concerto. I'll just do the exposition, so like the first page, see if I get.